I would like to reserve till the end, please.
This is the public hearing section, Mr. Burkholz.
Is there not is there not something you can talk about at the very end of the meeting, or not?
We're going to be doing council business at the end of the meeting, so this is the public hearing section.
All right,
As
so
outlined
then
in the
I
agenda.
guess I will speak then.
Please.
Start,
Please
I've
come
got
up to the
numbers.
podium, Mr. Burkholz.
Pardon me?
Please come to the podium.
Okay. Okay, first of all, I'd like to correct some things that were said as far as there's nothing that you guys can do. There's a lot of things you can do. You do not have the ability to come out and say, let's vote for levy. That I will give you. But as far as holding numerous meetings, you have the ability to hold as many meetings a month as you want to hold. If you want to open it up to the community to come listen, ask questions, you have that ability. You also have the ability, when you're doing that, to educate the public about what some of the concerns would be if that levy would fail, which it did. So now, you gotta take a look at how are you gonna get this next one passed? Because it is not a renewal anymore. It is a replacement levy. And a replacement levy is gonna be a little different because you're gonna have to get the millage figured out. And the end result's going to be, based on that millage, you may have a much bigger hill to climb. So as far as getting a committee together, the first thing you have to do is open it up to the public to talk, to explain what the finances are, what the issues could be. A couple meetings ago, I know that happened because I know that Mr. Oppenheimer was asking you, well, what happens if this thing doesn't pass? And basically, there wasn't a whole lot of participation by our council. So, what I would suggest you do is what I did, and I have this from the Board of Elections. There's an actual process of how you can set up a committee, what you can do and what you can't do. I also have it from the Secretary of State's office. But somebody at this village needs to be doing some of the research. And if I'm not mistaken, because I've been involved in many school levies, which is very similar, you cannot say vote for the levy, but you certainly can say get out and vote. We don't even get that. And as far as your website is concerned, that is once again a very lazy, incompetent, in my view, way of a public official addressing this. It's not about whether or not people care enough to go to the website. It's about, do they know? And you as elected officials have that responsibility. You could have very easily invited the news media into a meeting. That didn't happen. You could have, when Judith, for example, I believe, made the offer, you could have said, well, is there anybody else interested in helping her? That didn't come from the council. The other thing you gotta take a look at is 2 finance county meetings for the year. That's your opportunity. And then, when you go to every meeting of this council since, there wasn't even an agenda item. You were so convinced that it was going to pass, and it didn't. And for the record, I voted for it. So did my wife, so did my son. I believe Mr. Oppenheimer voted for it. So it's not a question that we don't want it to pass, but it is an issue of how you conduct yourself as a council. You either want the public involved or you don't. And I haven't seen any indication, even tonight, what I heard here tonight, doesn't show there's a whole lot of indication. Tonight, I want to thank you for speaking out, okay, on the issue of the Bond Hill dump. Was very reticent of this council to sit back, and she's laying it out for you as clearly as she can lay it out. This is your opportunity.
And we did that. We did that.
Tonight, after Jerry finally had enough gumption to stand up and say, I'm going to make a motion on that. I didn't hear a whole lot of discussion or questions out of any of you. You should be asking questions. The last thing I wanted to bring up is I want to compliment your new sergeant here. I go through and have for over a year the run reports. There was a significant improvement of how the police are functioning now than before you came here.
I appreciate that.
That's all I need to say.
Thank you. Are you signing up to run that committee?
No, I'm not.
No? Okay. I didn't think you would.
Oh, I would be
Rather
glad
than,
to.
Consulting and.
I would be
need to
glad
meet
to,
the
Mayor.
council.
I'd be glad to, but you don't deserve my support.
I haven't had your support. I haven't had your support since you walked in the door here regarding the police. So, you know,
You haven't earned it.
thank you.
You're welcome.
So you don't think that the uncertainty that you post on Nextdoor all the time with your vague generalizations of insulting counsel, you don't think that has any effect on people voting for a levy or not?
Sir, I
You
would say,
post
I
all
would
this
say
stuff on
that
there.
you do.
You have made yourself somewhat of a public figure, in my opinion, by the amount of stuff that you post on Nextdoor. By you coming in here, ranting at council, insulting people, and then thanking two different people. I get it. But I think you've made yourself a public figure as well. And I think you have some responsibility as well when you're posting on the social media site, whether you think you do or not, you do. So when people are looking at it thinking you've got some information which you don't, because it's all vague and general, you're creating this fear,
Then
uncertainty, and doubt in everybody.
maybe I need to repeat, to make public the 2018 lawsuit that you brought against one of your council members.
Go ahead. Stand up
Maybe I
here.
need to
Go
reveal.
ahead, stand up here.
Maybe I need to reveal.
Would you like to
that-
stand up
no,
here and
the
give it now?
documents here, I'm not going to.
Again, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, that's what you
No.
got. You don't have anything specific. If you'd like to get up here and stand and say something,
You
say it.
wanna talk about Rick Jones? Do you wanna do that? Do you
I'm sorry?
really wanna talk about that?
Have you asked to talk to me about it personally?
No,
outside of this?
I'm asking you right now, is that really what you want done out here?
Good.
I don't think we need to get into any more arguing. I think we need to proceed with our council meeting.
You know what you did, Mayor. I don't need to
I know
tell you
exactly
about it.
what I did. I'm the one that did it.
Yeah, I know you did it.
Quit doing the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. If you're here to support the village, try to support the village. But don't be insulting council and bullying them and all that other stuff on social media. I get it, it's your right to, but it might have some effect down the lines for other people reading what you
And
post.
I
And
think
you have
Mr.
responsibility for what you
Rahal will
post.
tell you that
So
in
thank
social
you. Have a
media,
good
I
night, sir.
ask people to go out and vote for it.
Our
Correct,
solicitor's
Mr.
report,
Rahal?
Mr. Doug Nicholas.
Resolution 18, 2021, to declare the necessity of a tax outside of the 10 mil limitation and request that the Hamilton County Auditor certify to the Village of Cleves the tax levy calculations enumerated in section 5705.03D of the Ohio Revised Code.
Any questions? Any discussion?